Good afternoon, everyone. I'm sorry to hear that the Pope passed on because I attended Catholic Theological Seminary School where I failed out, but I learned so much while I was there. Um, One of the things that I observe is that is a business, okay? And you have to be very excellent in handling church affairs, and you have to be very assuring to the congregation. It's not just one church. There are multiple organizations and different Catholic sects under the Rite, not Roman Catholicism in the American sect, but also globally. Okay? It's a business. Now, one of the things the Pope said before he died, and this was last year, I remember hearing this and seeing it. He said, "There's a devil among us." Now, he said that. He went on and passed on, but remember that because you guys are going to have to vote on a new pope. And I don't remember the gentleman's name exactly or at all, but it's still on YouTube, so I'm quite sure you all can find it. It's probably in YouTube archives, but find it. And anyone that's associated with that person, take heed to what was said because, see, for Vatican Council I and Vatican Council II, when I was at I think this was Loyola, and I left Loyola and went over to CTU. And in Vatican I and II, priests were being murdered going to those councils for the councils. And so each council, not Vatican I and Vatican II, I'm sorry, each conference to go to, they had to talk about the church piety. And the first one was, I don't forget what it's called. I said Vatican I and Vatican II. I don't forget what it's called. It's been so long. But when they went out to discuss the piety of the church the first time, the church changed. The second time they discussed the church, they looked at the Nicolaitans' point of view and got rid of a lot of things that was in the Roman Catholic Church at the time, which is a reflection of what Jesus Christ has said. Even though this is known as a pagan tradition and it's known as an occult, there are some believers in the church, in the Roman Catholic Church after Rite. It was Vatican Council I and Vatican Council II. They were murdering priests and various different hierarchy to ensure that what they wished for the church was done. Okay, so in this particular vote, and this isn't the first time I had to live through a pope being voted in, you have to be mindful of what he said because he was the head of the church. He was the symbol of y'all, occultism, your belief system, and the businessman that ran the church, the representative, as we call the public representative, the liaison globally, okay? So it's not just the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church is a global organization that is a business. They invest, they hold vast investments, vast properties and stuff. So you have to be very schooled and very versed in not just different cultures globally that are in a part of the RITE, but business. You have to be very astute. And you have to understand why the world revolves around them. Okay? So I am a Gentile. I'm not pagan. I'm not Roman Catholic, even though I grew up Coptic. And I want to know about the Coptic Church because one of the Baptist ministers didn't accept me when I was a young kid. I think I was 8 years old. And then from 8, I was going to church. I don't know if my mom did at 10, I became Coptic. Okay? And so, but I had already been in pageants and stuff like that in the Baptist church as a child. Okay. I didn't know the Lord's Prayer, but I knew the 23rd Psalms. Okay. So one of the things we want to look at is what is going to happen. It's not so much about we need a new pope. You need someone that's going to be able to steer the organization back to God. Okay. And there's a lot of old relics of Rite from Vatican Council 1 and 2. A lot of modernization that went down that are incorporated in the church, which represents pagan and occult practices. And you have to be business-minded, okay? That's why a lot of presidents, when they talk to someone they want to know something about a tradition, they go to the Roman Catholic Church or consult the Pope, is because the Pope's organization has reached into that area and understand what that area believes, their practices, why they became Roman Catholic, why they are not Roman Catholic, what traditions are over there, why they are there, and they have good history, okay? So some reason CTU Library caught on fire one time, years ago, but in the interim, it is a business. All churches are business. They're 501c3s, but it's business. And see, the Roman Catholic Church is one of the most dominant organizations that we have that is a business. Okay? RITE, the original church, is a business. It's no joke. It is a global dominant association that's greater than any president on this planet because it has invaded other cultures, joined other cultures, and they are faithful to them. You got to understand, it's not just about we need a new pope. It's about we need someone that understands the business of the church. Okay? So let's take James 4:7. Submit yourself to God, resist the devil, he will flee from thee. Okay? Don't just vote for somebody because you like them or because they're your ethnicity. And remember, he said there was a devil amongst you all. Watch out. Okay? It wasn't that he hates anyone. He had to protect the advancement of the church. Now, the church is not a turtle. Okay? The church has had women licensed to minister for years. So don't nobody tell you that they don't have licensed women in the ministry for RTE. I've seen a white associate pastor myself at CTU when I was under the Benedictine scholarship. Okay, I failed out. I had so much going on. It was funny. I was getting sick. I didn't know I was getting sick. A lot of things going on. But remember what God says. Amen.